everybody, good morning. I'm Jen and today is a Flosstube video. And it is number 60. Do I even remember what it is? Oh, that's not good. I don't remember. 65? I should know this. Bear with me. Yeah, number 65. So, I hope everyone's doing well. I am going to show you what I've been working on. I have a page finish, and then I'm going to show you there's a part two. You guys remember that 2 videos ago I did a kind of a whip parade where I showed what projects I have, what whips I have, and why I chose them. And I promised that I would do a second part to this, and I'm going to do the second part today. So first off, I have a page finish on Bountifu Bookshelf, and this took a little longer than I thought it was going to take, just because, yeah, it was crazy. But there's the page finish. Now, I don't have the picture in front of me. I'm sorry. But I'm on the second row, I think. And this is where I left off. And now I'm on this page, the next page, which is the first page on the second row. First page on the second row. And I started, of course, there's a lot of, not confetti, but it has its moments. So I decided to go ahead and start on the confetti, and that's what I'm doing here, what I did here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the confetti first, and that way get it over and done with, and, hopefully, it'll go a little quicker instead of waiting until the very end to do the confetti after I do all the, color, blocks of color and so forth. So that is the main one that I'm working on. I'm going to work on it some more today, and then I'll pick up the next project that I have set aside. Now, I have been asked, my God, when Rachel asked me to do this, I only had the first ones, which were the whips that I'm working on now. These are kind of, I don't know if I want to call them UFOs or what I want to call them, but yeah. So I guess they're UFOs because I haven't worked on them in a while. This first one is Cleopatra. I forget the actual name, but this is Cleopatra. This is from Hade. I am on the second row, and if you guys can see, I'm right in here where her earring is. I've done most of her face, and let me tell you that was not a pretty sight to behold, because her face was a pain in the rear end big time. But this is where I'm at. I have not done this in a while. I need to pull this out, and that means I'm going to have to go through all my floss and that I have bagged up for different projects and find all my floss for this. But this is where I'm at. As you guys can see, I'm just started on a page where her earring will be. And like I said, her face was a pain in the rear end. And yeah, it looks like she's got a black eye, but that's not the way it looks. So why I chose this, this is a very funny story. Well, not funny, but my oldest daughter was doing a project in school, a research project, and she had to do it on Egypt, and something that had to do with that. And anyway, the teachers kind of gave her, prompts and stuff, and they, gave her a list of things that she could choose. And So she chose Cleopatra. And of course, it kind of, upset a couple of people that were in the class because they wanted to do it. But she does it, and we researched it and we researched it. And there was a lot of things that I didn't know about Cleopatra that I do now. Um, I mean, I knew she was the first, woman queen of Egypt, and what I didn't know. Well, no, I can't say I didn't know that. What I didn't know is that um, she was in love with um, oh my gosh, um, Mark Antony from yeah, I forget where he's from. But yeah, Mark Antony, and I think he was like a friend of Caesar or something. I can't remember. But anyway, so yeah, we that was an interesting project. I mean, she did it. She pulled pictures off, and that was one of my very first big hate things. I had always pulled off their free ones, but I never did them. So I took it upon myself and bought it. The next one is Amazing Animals, and I know Tracy's Crafts is doing this for one of the challenges in full coverage. I have not worked on this in a while. This was meant to be for either me or my son because um, I just thought because it was kind of one of those things where, in a way, it's a juvenile thing, in a way, it's not. But this is where, now I'm on this section, the third page, and I had just started his head and his snout of the elephant, and there you go. And of course, I put it aside, and I don't even remember why I put it aside. I think because I got so overwhelmed with trying to do 4 or 5, you know, different projects in a you know every week or whatever. Because I like to rotate, and well, I was doing 2 projects in one week and so forth, and it was getting to the point I was getting overwhelmed. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to concentrate on 3 and get it over and done with. And so this is where I'm at. This is what I've done so far. And as you guys can see, I'm down here getting ready. And I think the other reason I got tired of working on this was because of the fact that I had to grid. And sometimes I would mess up my gridding. So I'm really, really considering restarting this on the 25 count easy guide because it's so much easier for me. I don't know. Now, this is on 22 count, I think. Let me check. Yeah, 22 count. And I'm doing tent stitches on this, whereas on the Cleopatra, it's on 18 count, and I was doing full stitches. So, now, mind you, the little dude's not really concerned with this one as much anymore, I guess because he's getting older. Um, but I still want to complete it and possibly, hang it somewhere, hallway or something. Now, this next one, truthfully, I can't tell you why I picked this one. I can't remember. Just save my butt. But this is called Four Seasons. Did you see winter, fall, or spring, summer, spring, summer, fall, and winter. And I'm doing the winter part, and I started down here, and I've gotten to the I think I'm at this part. Yeah, I'm here, and I kind of got tired of doing white. And the other kind of disadvantage of this is I needed Krennic for the the white so that it would sparkle like snow or ice or whatever, and I didn't have any, so I just kind of said forget that, it's not a big deal. So I kind of stopped down here because I got really really annoyed with white. I know, right? And now I am up here on this section, and of course stopped it. Don't know why. I think because of confetti. So this is where I am. That's where I left off with the white. That is the very first row. Then I decided, okay, because I was getting tired of white, I decided to start this. Now, mind you, Pattern Keeper is a blessing, but I got so irritated with all the confetti stitches that I said, no. And this is where this is all confetti. It's a pain in the butt. And yes, it's confetti hell. And I said, and I just got tired of trying to um it was getting frustrating. I know, it's one of those things where yes, it may be confetti hell, but it'll look good in the end. And I'm not saying that it won't, because but I just got to a point that I said no, not gonna do it. So that's all of that, and reasons why I picked it. And I think the reason that I picked this one was because I can rotate it. I know they have picture frames where you can, with the little, whatever on the back of the picture frame where you can rotate the picture. And I think that's why I bought it, so that, every season I could change it. When winter comes, I put it on the winter, and fall, so forth. So I think that's why I chose this one. I can't really remember. It's been so long since I worked on that one. Okay, so that's all of stitching, guys. So now we're going to talk about, well, no, sorry, challenges. I did do work on challenges. I did 1,200 stitches last week. And, okay, last week I did almost 1,200. I haven't done any this week. Only because, okay, I have told you guys that I've, been going to school to take, for my license for in life insurance and health insurance. And I've been studying like crazy. And finally, I've gotten to a point where I think I've burned myself out to the point that. So yesterday, I decided to sit down and make myself up a kind of a schedule, so that way I could stitch, because I wasn't stitching. I haven't been stitching since Sunday. So I said, you know what, this isn't happening. I'm burning myself out, because I was sitting here for the past 3 days, um, stitching for 3 or 4 hours, and I was burning myself out. So I am going to take time today and do some stitching. But I did complete a cabin for Magical Stitches. Thank God. Um, and I did put them in for the other yearly challenges that I'm trying to do in Magical Stitches. Full coverage fanatics. I haven't done anything, um, because the new one is starting this next week. So I'm going to try to catch up on that stuff too. So that was done. Did that. Now, as for reading, I'm done talking about stitching. Now I'm going to talk about reading. And if you don't want to watch this part, Thank you for watching. Okay, now I finished the Body Farm by, oh no, excuse me. I finished Cruel and Unusual by Patricia Cronwell. And those of you that know who she is, she's a really, really good crime, I guess, uh, crime author. She used to be a medical examiner in Virginia. So I really like her books. I like her Dr. K. Scarpetta series. And I just finished Cruel and Unusual last week. Or no. When did I finish it? Sunday? Monday? I can't remember. And all I gotta say is wow. Because, I've always liked her books, and it's one of those, she's one of those authors where you read it and you start, or listen to it, and you start going, okay, who did it? And what the story is about is there was a murderer that was executed, and his fingerprints turn up at a crime scene after he's been executed. And so she goes through the whole thing, investigating, how his prints could have ended up where at the crime scene. And then other things happen. I kind of had a feeling I knew who it was that was doing this, but I couldn't figure it out. And I didn't want to say, okay, yeah, I know who this is. I was right. I mean, there were two people that I thought, there were two people I was considering. So yeah, when I found out who it was, I was like, wow, really? Oh, wow. So, yeah. Now, the next one, I finished that. That was an awesome book. Um, like I said, I like her, her story, her books. And the next one is The Body Farm by her also. And she goes to North Carolina where an 11-year-old little girl is brutally murdered. This case that she's investigating in this book kind of ties in with the case from Cruel and Unusual. It's kind of one of those things. You have to really pay attention. And I have, how far am I in that? I'll tell you. I didn't get very far. I just actually started listening to it. So I haven't really gotten very far into that. I think, yeah, I'm not even that far. I'm like, it's 2% on my Goodreads, so I'm not that far into the book. So yeah, that book was really, really good. And so yeah, and I finally I've gotten tired of trying to keep track of my books in my personal catch-all, planner that I use. And now, I mean, you guys know I have two different sections, one for my personal and my business, and when that happens, and then for my stitching and my YouTube. And I just got to the point where I was like, you know what, I can't. I don't always remember to make a spot for it when I'm planning out my week for the next week. So I went and bought this. And this is kind of a good thing because it has where I can write, like thoughts and stuff of what I thought of the book, and, remember where I left off and so forth. So it's just remembering to do it. I may not put it in this planner because I have so much in here now. I have, you know, my personal stuff, the stuff I need for when I start working and going through my training, and then you know, my stitching and YouTube thing, and yeah, I just have too much in here now, so I think I'm just gonna leave this and you know, put it in here. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So that's really all I've got, guys. And you know, it's funny. I always try to write down what I want to talk about, and then half the time, um, yeah, I don't really sit down and get into it with, you know, about it. So, but so thank you guys for watching so much, and I hope everyone has a great week. And I will see you all next time. Until then, guys, have a great week.